Hi, welcome to ABC's Film. This week we are watching one of my choices. I'm going to show Alex Lars von Trier's Dancer in the Dark. True to Lars von Trier's form, it is a miserable film, but I'm hoping that he's going to enjoy it anyway. See you after the jump.
You're sweating.
I know. I'm excited though. I can see it all happening. A little turn. Now side to side.
Dancer in the Dark is a musical that stars Bjork as a Czechoslovakian immigrant who is obsessed with musicals and just wants to dance her whole life. But she's got a degenerative disease that means she is slowly going blind, and her son has that disease too. So she works as much as she can to save up money for her child on his 13th birthday to have an operation to fix his eyesight so that he doesn't go blind like she's going to. However, somebody steals the money that she's been saving up, and then hijinks ensue.
So before I tell you why I thought this film was a complete piece of shit, I want you to tell me why you actually like it. Because I think I've missed something. Or at least I don't think I get it, why people seem to like it. Because through my research online about this film, people either seem to really like it or really hate it.
It's definitely polarizing.
I really hated it.
Really?
I thought it was terrible, but I don't understand why people enjoy it. So since you're one of those people who seems to like it, maybe you could explain to me why.
Spoilers throughout, because
Yeah.
I don't think you can't really talk
No.
about this film without spoiling it. So I don't know. I just think I like that there's a movie out there that the emotion they're going for is miserable.
Yeah, Lars von Trier.
Yeah, there's very few movies that go for that.
Yeah.
And this one just pulls it off with flying colours.
It just doesn't. No, that's the thing. Like, maybe if it had worked for me, I would have liked it, but obviously I didn't. The film when I was thinking about this yesterday, I was thinking like a film to compare it to, and the film that reminds me the most of is Patch Adams, because Patch Adams is calculated to be as mawkish and fucking sentimental as possible, and it doesn't come off as genuine. And for me, this is exactly the same. It is calculated to make you feel sad, and it doesn't work.
It totally does.
It doesn't. There's nothing else behind it apart from the emotion they're trying to make you feel.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work.
But it does.
It doesn't though, that's the problem. I was going to say this like 5 hours. It don't work, mate, it don't work. That's all there is to it, like, because the rest of the film is so bad and so kind of artificial and unbelievable. If the emotion doesn't land, then there's nothing else to it.
Yeah.
And the emotion doesn't land, and therefore it's not very good.
But it doesn't land for you, and I think it's rarer that it doesn't land.
What do you mean?
Like, it lands for more people than it doesn't. I mean, this won the Palme d'Or.
It won the Palme d'Or, yeah,
Cannes.
which I kind of was really surprised at, but I think in terms of like, I don't think it really won any more awards. I don't think Bjork was nominated for anything. I don't think the film was nominated for anything at the
Best
Oscars.
original song. Which
Yeah,
is shocking.
No, I actively hated it.
I'm not surprised.
No, I didn't enjoy it at all. I was waiting for something interesting to happen, and I kind of knew that it wasn't, and then it was just kind of.
You don't think
funny.
anything interesting happened?
It's not realistic or believable.
So? It's
I was
melodrama.
No, I was reading the Roger Ebert review about it, and he was saying the same thing. Like, if you're not supposed to be able to take what happens in it seriously.
No, yeah.
And I was like, well, that's not a defense, because it's not realistic. Like, I was kind of wanted to compare it again to David Cage, the video game developer, who's the lead developer on Quantic Dream. It's like a person from Eastern Europe looking at America and kind of like taking a caricature of it and making like a caricature of America, even though it's meant to be like serious.
This could have been set anywhere.
Could have been.
I mean, you said that when we were watching it, but
in...
that was only about like the happy family side of
Yeah.
it, not the she goes to jail and is on death row.
It's set in Washington State, isn't it? And
I don't know.
Apparently it is.
Yeah.
I didn't get that from the film, but from reading about it, apparently it's set in Washington State. It doesn't look anything like the Pacific Northwest. It does feel like Eastern Europe, and obviously all the actors in there are from Eastern Europe as well, so it already feels kind of like a caricature of America, which I suppose is kind of necessity if you don't film it in America and you have.
But why is that wrong?
With what do you mean? Why is that wrong?
Like, so it looks like a caricature of America.
I suppose in a way that kind of like serves the fiction of the film because it's one step removed from the source that it's going for, so it already has like the air of unreality, you know, which is, I guess is what they're going for. But like I said, to me, because it felt like a caricature, I couldn't take any of it seriously. Another thing I was kind of thinking about, like subsequently about it, was there's the really funny Onion clip about Fast and Furious 5, where it's like it's written by a child. This is a child's idea of tragedy. It kind of
You
makes
think?
it, yeah. It's like, oh, what would happen if she had degenerative eye disease? And her son
There
had
is one bit
degenerative
where I
eye
think they take it
disease.
too far, and that's basically they make her so sympathetic,
Yeah,
and then
Just
from
like-
like the hour point right to the very end at like 2 hours and 20,
yeah,
they just shit on her.
yeah.
And the bit that always like strikes me as a little bit too far is like she idolizes this tap dancer,
Yeah,
so they get him to come into the courtroom and
Yeah.
just like completely mouth her off and say that like he's never heard of her and
Yeah.
shit like that.
At this time, the state calls to the witness stand Aldrich Novy.
I kind of feel like you could have got the same effect by kicking a puppy for 2 hours.
And why not?
Yeah, exactly. It's like it just wants to make you feel sad. There's nothing else to it. Kicking puppies,
Yeah, but then do you not watch horror because they just want to make you feel scared?
but that works. You're just trying to elicit an emotion. There's nothing else behind it. There's no message to it or anything like that. Like if you watch a Ken Loach film, it makes you feel sad, but it's also, you know, like stuff like that actually happens and stuff like that goes on, and it feels realistic because it's like kind of social
You don't think
realism.
innocent people have been killed in death row?
But like the trial, like the way that's presented, like the trial is like complete nonsense, obviously, and like the way the prison is presented as well, it almost feels like it's filmed in a broom cupboard. Did you not feel that as well? Like because you don't see any prisoners till the dance sequence at the end.
I don't know, it felt like the way everything echoed,
Yeah.
which is Lars von Trier's filming, but
Yeah.
we'll get to that.
But it felt like
The way everything echoed felt like what I feel like prison would be
Yeah.
like.
But for me, it was also kind of when in America, when prisoners get sentenced to death, it sometimes takes decades and decades.
Oh yeah,
for them
it
to
was
get
like a week.
sentenced. Like a week later, it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
she's going to be murdered probably because like she's a Czech.
But that's the
or whatever.
melodrama of it though. That's like, it's not trying to be realistic. It's not.
But it didn't work. It didn't like. It's like I say, it didn't land. Like I couldn't take it.
But I don't
seriously.
understand why you're not like, because that's subjective.
I think no. I think like there has to be enough artistry and like charm in the way a film's presented and the way a film's acted and the way the dialogue works for you to be able to buy into a melodrama like that. For me, it was just let's just make you feel sad, and there's nothing else going on around it to really sell that to me. Like I don't think the performances are very good at all. I don't think anyone acted well in this film.
Not even Bjork.
I think she could have eventually turned into a good actress.
You didn't think Bjork acted well in Dancer in the Dark?
I think she was good. I think she was good in this. I think eventually she could have put in a role that would have got her an Oscar eventually.
How about a big one?
How many is there in a big one?
10,000?
I'll have a big one.
This film is filmed in, is it the style of Dogma 95 or is it like
It's
some kind
not
of
actually,
Yeah.
because one of the rules is no period pieces. Isn't it?
Is it really? I have no idea. I
There-
thought it was
there's
just
like
the
a
way
set
it was
of
shot.
5 rules. Lars von Trier and another filmmaker, they decided in the 90s that they would start this like movement called Dogma 95, Dogma with an E.
Oh.
Yeah, DOGME 95. And it was basically like, I don't know why they did it, but something to do with aspiring filmmakers or anybody could make a film like on consumer
Yeah.
grade things. So there's no added sound effects. There's just what you shoot there. One of the rules is you're not allowed to take a prop.
No, I'll take a prop.
Yeah, so if you need a character to use something,
It has to be in the
have
environment.
been in the environment
okay.
they film at. And there's loads of stupid rules, and I don't know enough about it to properly say, but I think it was just a way. Like they didn't have any equipment,
Yeah.
so they tried to make it cool to not have any equipment.
Yeah.
Um,
But this is, I guess if every single film out there was filmed this way, like even an amateur production would fit in because it would just be, you know, loads of amateur productions everywhere.
but this isn't that style. That isn't
No.
Dogma 95, but it's definitely like partly influenced by it because it's shot handheld.
Yeah.
For some fucking reason, I don't know if it was like an actual decision by Lars von Trier or he just said do whatever you want to the camera operators, but everything is zoomed in
Yeah.
from far away, close-ups on face, misframed, and the background's going all over the fucking place. So like, it wouldn't surprise me if people literally got motion sickness.
I think it was. I mean, I got used to it after a while, but like in the first couple of scenes in like the trailer where they're having conversations and stuff, I found it really hard to watch and kind of pay attention to what was going on.
I don't know if that adds to the, well, you'll fucking laugh, but if that adds to sort of like the realism of it, where like, because most people that I've shown this film to find like the last 20 minutes harrowing.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know if that's because it's shot like it was somebody in their back garden.
Yeah.
Like whether that adds to it or not, I don't know. But I kept thinking it would be better off like shot by somebody like Michel Gondry, who did like what did he do? Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh, okay.
And he did loads of Bjork music videos and stuff like that. And I always wonder, like, if it was shot by somebody like him who could do like a dream-like feel to something, if it would be better than just.
It doesn't feel constructed. That's the thing. Like, there's no like, oh, we're gonna have. I don't even feel like it was storyboarded. Like, we're gonna have this shot in this.
A lot of it feels like
this
admin.
shot in this section. It's just kind of like we're gonna go into the trailer and you're gonna say some shit and we're gonna film it. And
yeah, like Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Where they know where the scene has to go, but they don't have any lines.
It's just gonna get thrown together like that.
Yeah.
I thought it was really kind of, like I say, hard to watch and ugly and kind of motion sickness to it. Like it was kind of hard to focus on the details in the scene because the camera kept moving around.
Yeah.
And it's like it's kind of hard to focus on an actor's face when that's happening.
You have to be very careful not to bend the card. Otherwise, I don't get paid for it.
No.
But that's fair because the people in the shops would never want to buy it if it's bent.
Well, you wouldn't buy it if it was bent.
That's true. I
You wouldn't buy anything
no.
if it was bent.
No.
Did you read up about the behind-the-scenes stories?
It's not true, is it? It's all made up. It's all made up. Yes, I did read it a little.
Well, the story goes that when the movie came out, Bjork said that she was never going to act again.
Yeah.
And people thought that maybe it was something that happened on set.
Lars von Trier, like, I was reading a Rolling Stones review of it, and it's like, well, maybe he was a bit too intense.
Yeah.
Like, his demands were too high on her.
And then she said a few years later that it had nothing to do with the film, but that she never wanted to act, and she only acted because she wanted to work with Lars von Trier.
Yeah.
Then flash forward to like
2017.
Yeah, like a year ago, 2017.
I was gonna say 2007.
To like a year ago, and Bjork hints that a Danish movie director that she had worked with
only in one film. So it's really
she's
hard.
only been in one film.
She could have said a director, and it would have worked. I suppose. Like could have been music.
Had harassed her, and then Lars von Trier put out a statement saying that he didn't. And then she detailed
more. Like it was like 7 bullet points.
Yeah. Then afterwards, she put some bullet points ranging from
like hugs that went on
too long to outright
sexual propositioning.
Propositioning her.
Saying I'm gonna come into your room and like have sex with you.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like in front of his wife and smashing chairs and stuff when he didn't get his own way.
Yeah.
So that sounds pretty shitty.
Yeah, and she did bookend it by saying that she thinks, from what she's heard from other actresses and stuff, that he's changed, but that doesn't change the fact that
it happened to her.
It happened.
And also that he's denied it as well, which is kind of like a pretty shitty thing to do if he actually had done it, which seems pretty like...
Yeah.
I don't know if it's been corroborated by anyone else in the industry, but I know her publicist had defended her or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Her publicist came out and said, like, she's never fallen out, like, properly fallen out with anybody they've worked with and stuff like that. But
and she doesn't seem like the kind of person to make that kind of thing up. I think
really
she's
nice.
quite genuine and nice, I mean, obviously. And, you know, the sad thing is like, the film that they got out of it was pretty shit as well. So, like, all that suffering for a not very good film.
What I wonder is, because I remember once reading, I didn't look up anything last night, but I meant to.
Yeah.
But I remember once reading they fell out over the ending.
Yeah.
And I wonder how much of the movie was written beforehand. Because, like, perhaps, if it's true, maybe he was like, well, we're going to have, like, a proper hanging scene now.
Yeah. We should talk about the ending, that final sequence. It's alright, isn't it?
Oh shit!
So Bjork gets she gets hanged.
She gets hung. Hanged, yeah, sorry.
Is the correct expression. I think she acts that quite well. It's like I think it's the
screaming.
Best scene. The screaming is pretty good and pretty.
She acts like I imagine I would act, like where she just faints and she can't stand up and then she's just terrified. And then she sings a song.
Yeah, it was like quite a happy song.
It was a nice song. Actually.
I was kind of thinking like with the board they attach it to, like that would really throw the weight off. And I think these things are quite well calculated to make sure you die as soon as like the rope gets taut. Like
but obviously realism aside.
Yeah. For like everything else in this film. I was also kind of wondering like, is that the way it actually happens? Like with that room, like there's the audience at the bottom, isn't there?
No,
And the
like
room
I
at the
don't
top,
think.
And then they drop, and like she's hanging in front of you. I don't think you can see the body hanging, can you?
Oh, I don't
feel like
know.
they don't. I feel like they would never do that.
But I mean, it's definitely like her best friend runs up to her right before she drops and says, "Your son got the operation," and all that. Like she wouldn't be anywhere near it.
Exactly.
But no, I think that's probably, if it didn't have her hanging at the end, I probably wouldn't like it as much as I do.
Yeah, it's really like, it's a real downer ending, isn't it?
Yeah, I flat out cried for 10 minutes after I first saw this. My friend Kerry, when she saw it, she's like got up and she was just like, I have anxiety now.
Yeah, but you can't take it seriously. So I didn't like it. I didn't have no emotional reaction to that scene whatsoever, believe it or not. Like it's a bit hard.
No, I believe that.
But then it's like, oh, yeah, well, you were there, obviously. But like, yeah, that's the thing. No, I didn't have any emotional reaction to it. Didn't like it.
This makes me think of that time. I think it's our video for On the Waterfront.
Yeah.
And you say like, this is the first film that has elicited a genuine human emotion from me.
Sounds like something I would say.
Selma Jezkova, do you have any last words? Very well. Proceed.
I think it's really hard to stay neutral about it, isn't it?
It's hard to gauge whether somebody's going to like it or not, because there is the hurdle of how it's filmed.
Yeah.
Like how jarring it is when they break into song. Even though right before the first song they have a character go like, do you know what I don't get about musicals? Why do they keep singing all the time? I don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, but it's still a bit like, what the fuck when it happens?
Yeah.
So it won't be a film for like that dumb person that you work with.
No,
You know,
exactly. Like I was thinking, like, well, my dad liked this from watching it because my dad's real matter of fact. He likes terrible films, basically.
Yeah.
Like my dad would have hated this. He would never have gotten through it. Like at the very least, I've watched it and like I don't like it.
Yeah.
Obviously. But like I said, like we were saying beforehand, like it won the Palme d'Or. People seem to really like it. Like there are many positive reviews out there, and obviously there's very many negative reviews as well. And it's kind of for me like.
But I would wonder if like the people who give it a positive review say like, however.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of bad things about the film, even though I think it's fucking great. Like, I wonder if it's the sort of... You know, like, people are either, like, really far one way and really far another way, and nobody's kind of like, I fucking love it, but...
Yeah.
This sucks.
So why did you kill him, actually? If I may be so bold to ask.
He asked me to.
So that was our review of Crap. It was crap. Don't watch the crap.